All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Gervonta-Shakur. Stevenson has something to say about Gervonta Davis and his rematch with Lamont Roach. Mighty interesting take he has, seeing as he's the guy that wants to fight Gervonta next. Very interesting statement from Shakur. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Gervonta-Shakur. Stevenson seems to be saying two things that don't work well with each other. One, he says Gervonta Davis will lose the rematch to Lamont Roach. And the other thing that he says is that Shakur and Gervonta Davis's fight will be the biggest fight in all of boxing. Now, before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And thank you to everybody that's been around the channel for a long time. Most of you guys are already subscribed, so thank you. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks. Had a long time since I said shout out to my guy Matty Yo. Shout out to my guy Matty Yo. But let's get into this because look, man, I don't want to hear this. I want to see the fight between Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson. That's the fight that I've been pushing for, or I pushed for a while, since I had Shakur Stevenson on the channel some months back, and he was going and having a back and forth with Kenny Ellis, who is one of the trainers for Gervonta Davis. I thought it was really, really good entertainment. And I kind of revitalized the idea that Shakur Stevenson is one of the best guys at 135. But you know how it goes. At 135, it's like every fight dictates how good or how bad you are, right? So Gervonta Davis had a fight with Lamont Roach, which ended in a draw. And Shakur Stevenson was one of the people going into the fight that said that he believed it was a 50-50 fight between Gervonta and Lamont Roach. But this time in the rematch, Shakur Stevenson is going a step further and saying that he thinks Lamont Roach is going to win the rematch and that he doesn't believe that Gervonta was off or that he had anything going on in his life that might have affected him in the ring, and that no, that's just what it is. He's going to lose to Lamont Roach again. Now, as much as I like Shakur Stevenson as a fighter, I really, really do. I like him as a fighter. I am a big advocate of Shakur Stevenson. You're never going to hear me say that the man can't fight. He doesn't know what he's talking about or anything like that. But if you believe in speaking things into existence, which I really do, I don't think Shakur Stevenson should be speaking that into existence, because if Gervonta loses to Lamont Roach, where is exactly is going to be the big fight that you're going to get with him? Right? I would say, hey man, kind of keep it neutral. He wound up towards the end of the conversation just saying, kind of stepping back and saying he's not going to make any prediction for the fight. About, he said, look, man, it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. But I'm like, man, please don't go throwing out there that Gervonta is about to lose to Lamont, because then I don't ever get to see that fight. Now, the interesting thing is, though, that we don't know whether or not I don't know whether or not the rematch with Lamont Roach is going to take place or not. The word is that they are looking at the June time frame for that fight. Now, as a side note, to if they do have the Lamont Roach fight, the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, I also believe that they're going to have a Cool Boy Steph might also is rumored to be returning on that undercard as well. And also, man, I think it was at 130 pounds, you have O'Shaquie Foster who's going to be fighting a tough opponent on that undercard as well. And I do believe it is for a unification in the 130-pound division. But there's more fights being announced around that time frame that people say are going to be on the undercard of Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach if they have the fight. Now, for sure Gervonta is going to be fighting somebody. The question is whether or not it's going to be it's going to be Lamont Roach or not. I would say, hey man, whatever happens, man. Really. I've heard that Lamont Roach might be pricing himself out of the fight with Gervonta. He might be asking for too much money, or it put it in a situation where he's trying to really get a lot of money out of the fight, where he may have another offer where he can consider another offer. If that's the case, hey man, Lamont Roach got to do what Lamont Roach got to do. I am a believer that the fight with Gervonta and Lamont Roach will be a tough fight for Gervonta, and to put it in a way where, I'm being fair to both people, it's also be a very, very tough fight for Lamont Roach. What people do not get is that fight was not some big blowout for Lamont Roach. That was a very, very close fight where Lamont Roach held himself well, but just because two guys are fighting at 50-50 or they're right near each other does not mean that one guy did an incredible job and the other guy did a bad job, just because based off what you guys' expectations are. My expectation from the beginning was that Lamont Roach was going to give Gervonta Davis a good fight. I did not make a prediction video for that for several reasons. Number one, I did get the feeling that because Lamont Roach is from DC and he had sparred with Gervonta Davis a lot, that there's a lot of familiarity there between the two fighters. And familiarity breeds contempt. So he felt like, hey, I kind of know how this guy fights. In an area where a lot of people knew Gervonta and knew how Gervonta Davis fought. Gervonta was also, in my opinion, not something that Gervonta Davis is saying. In my opinion, he was also talking about retirement, doing things like that. So, he may not have been all the way 100% on. Shakur says he doesn't believe that he was off, but when you're talking about retirement, you're off. Okay, without a doubt, when you were talking about retirement, you are off. But I would not be surprised if I wasn't surprised when Gervonta Davis said he wanted to retire. All of the terrible press coverage this guy gets and the dogging out that he gets daily everywhere in the media for no good reason. Shoot, somebody may want to walk away, but hopefully they won't do that before I get to see that Shakur Stevenson fight and I get to see that Lamont Roach rematch. I'm just not tripping on what order that stuff takes place in. If Lamont beats Gervonta, there is no Shakur fight. There's a Lamont Shakur fight, I guess, maybe. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.